Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of our isolated city in the middle of the ocean, where last episode I spent way too long trying to build a freaking entry point to our airport. It took too long, but we got there in the end. It looks beautiful, it has a sweet little highway connection, and today we're going to slowly start to build a little bit of a neighborhood around it and also link up some public transport to it. Now, as always, guys, if you do enjoy this episode and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when the next episode does come out. Now, I've been giving it lots of thoughts about this. Lots and lots of thoughts. And by thoughts, what I mean is the public transport situation. I kind of want to eventually have it connected up where we can also utilize the ferry system to kind of get over to this point as well, meaning whatever I build in terms of public transport needs to kind of have some type of connectivity to the shoreline over here at some point. And right now we're heavily utilizing the metro system through our city. You can see it's all intertwined. It pretty much goes from point A to point B, and we've been using the kind of hub that also includes buses, so I can use the buses as a way to kind of collect people to bring them to these areas. And we do need to kind of readjust some of these bus lines to kind of get more of a collection of people around to get them to the main transport system, which is our metro, to get them to where they need to get to. I mean, it works. It works perfectly fine. So I want to kind of continue and use the metro system, but the problem is, right, we have this big void. So we're going to have to kind of bring it around here, and it's going to be quite a big void for now, but at least we can lay down the foundations to ultimately getting these stops in. Now, I gave it a lot of thought. Now, this hurt my brain quite a bit, because my original thought would have been, like, with the actual airport themselves, you can get the little extensions on the building that allows you to connect, like the airport bus station. You've got the elevated metro station, which if I implemented the elevated metro station in, I have to kind of clip it on the building. I could have extended the terminal down and have it on there and have it elevated, but my problem is it's elevated. My whole system's underground, and I want to have another stop over here, which is kind of awkward. Plus, I need to have multiple connections come to the airport because this is going to be a big transfer hub. So obviously, it all leads back to this. Oh, this is my savior right now, guys. This is actually my savior. So I want to place the little hub down just here. Now, reason for it is we have the plus symbol for the metro, meaning I have a plus this way and this way. So this here can go from there, which can lead up to having a stop around here, which will then switch over to the ferry system. Perfect. We have then the left and right, so the right going and leading down to whatever connectivity we have around this area. And then to the left, leading this way, which would eventually go around and connect down to there. It just made so much sense. I was stressing out, overthinking it, how I was going to do it, then it just came to me. Seniac, why don't you use what you're using right now? But I have noticed a problem, and it is quite an annoying problem. They're not really using the arrivals. I'll be honest with you right now. They all seem to be using the departures. You get the odd one or two people that do use the arrivals, but it's not working as it was meant to intended for it to be worked, which is kind of annoying. With that said, right, it does mean that they won't transfer to this. It's a weird one. We'll come back to this in just a minute, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this area up real quick, get some people moving in, and I want to see if my visions, my calculations are correct, that they won't use this because they're coming in, they're entering and leaving all on the second tier, which to get down to this one is not possible. It's an awkward one. It is an awkward one, but I could be wrong, but there's only going to be one way to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this area up. I want to get to the commercial and some residential, get this all rocking and rolling. So if I've got a metro stop here with this, I want to implement one here as well. And it's going to be so cool watching the planes go over all the buildings here. I'm really excited. Now, if I go back to other areas where we've also implemented in these bus things, we've kind of done it on the rectangle going sideways. Over here, rectangle going sideways. Over here, rectangle going sideways. So that's kind of what I want to implement here. So if I bring this up to there, and if I do a couple of rectangle going sideways, That is now the official term for this little system, like that. But I also want to try and split up the uniformness of what we are technically creating. So if I quickly do this and just kind of end it there, because I want to build it on this side, because I know you get the odd one or two that live around here that will walk to there because it is pretty close. So get this over on this side, and I think I'll use one of these. Let me quickly grab one right now. So if that's there, I'll implement this here. So we still got another plus right now, where we can obviously go up this way. That will lead onto maybe something that runs across here with the ferry systems. You just never know how it's going to go down, but I think it will be pretty cool. And we'll also get the connectivity set up for this as well. So underground, and we'll make sure that we use the connection tool so we can have a smooth transition between the two stations. So gonna go for the maximum bend here, so we have the most efficient curve built possible. And because we don't really have any of a stop, and I'm not gonna have any stops for quite some time until we build around this area, I'm gonna just literally run this all the way to the stop here. Now, what I'm not going to do, if I can pull it up, is the current line, it goes from there, stops there, and goes to here. I won't use that as a fully extending one down to here. We'll have a separate line, just because the length of it is going to be a little bit too crazy. So, we'll just create a brand new line from it. So, if I go from here, right, go from here, which is going to look a little bit awkward to begin with, right. I want to try and get it to kind of at least bend round here. Just for the reality of it. Oh, snap. That could actually work pretty well. Like that. Oh my goodness me. The only downside is it's nearly 300,000 to build. I mean, I could just build it like a lot shorter and save some money, but this is where this line is eventually going to run. So if I get it in now, it's minimal deletion of any other line. If I build it short, I've got to delete it and rebuild it. Yo, this is going to be so freaking expensive. And I've just pressed enter as well. And I've got to quickly pause. I've just realized I've now created a freaking dam. Oh, damn it, you fool! Right, hold on, guys. It's because it's all at the same level. That's literally the reason for it. So if I bring this down, and if I select this node here, also bring you down, select this node here. Actually, what we'll do, and I don't know if it will allow me to do it, but let me see if I can do a gradient underground. So if I selected, for example, here, and went as far back as here, that's a little bit better. It's a 4.5% gradient, so it's a little bit better than what we could have gotten away with. Well, it was before, 15%. 5.3, that works. Now, we shouldn't see it, so it shouldn't be any issues. And now we're technically connected. So let me just quickly get in a new metro system, a metro line, which that should be on the opposite side. Now, I know it's a bit funky, and I know it looks kind of so out of the place, but this is, along this line is where we're eventually going to have all the other stops, so it just makes sense to build it in, and then we've got to delete the whole line to kind of get my next stops in. So there we go. It's on the opposite side of the track, so we can have two trains dock at the station at once. Right, very good. Very good, sir. The only problem is I don't have enough power over here. And I'm probably going to have to sort out the water as well, aren't I? Yes. Right, let's sort this out real quick, guys. Let's sort all this out real quick. So, let me just give it the water. Right. We'll get in... Oh, that went a bit wonky, didn't it? We'll get in... I've got to do an awkward one down here as well. The power for it. And then we should be able to build this area up slightly. So... How much are these? 6 grand. How much have I got? 35 grand. Oh, good God. Right, 3 wind turbines. If I come off here and just go around the edge, that way I can save my zoning. I've got 15 grand left. Where's all the money gone? And, right, so let's think about this logically. We'll do commercial running down here. I'll do a little bit of commercial between the actual... transport section there. And I do a little bit of commercial just there near the airport. So any major noise pollution is not being hit by the residential, even though I'm adding residential at the end of the runway. But that'd be fun. If you're a plane enthusiast, this is the best place for you to live on the island right now and just let planes land over your head. So as I slowly choke back into play mode, we should now start to see residents moving in, that growth being spent, and that power being utilized. Very exciting. Very exciting. So let's fast forward then. So like I said, in my head, I feel like there's going to be issues. Because this is now in. Unless all of a sudden people start coming out of the arrival section and then catching the train. I don't know. I don't know. Worst case scenario, I have to build like a road connection or a path connection to get them up and down. But there's a lot of people coming out right now. Now, I do understand, you know, you got to wait a few minutes for everyone's connections to be kind of updated so they know of the new routes. But they're all exiting and leaving on the top section. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we've got to play that waiting game, boys. We've still got to play that waiting game. Is there a couple more people about to come out right now? Because that plane just docked. There's another plane waiting. Yeah, you see what I mean? No one's really coming out of the arrivals. They're all coming out of departures. It's a weird one. It is. Now, are we seeing people coming out and using this? Because I just want to make sure first. Oh, that's a point as well. Let me just check the trains and that new line, line 5. I don't need 5. I only need 1 to begin with. So let's just stick with the 1 right now. Right, let me get back over here. So, once I start seeing people walk in and out of this, I know that the route's now updated. And the reason I'm looking at this one is because it's more likely to happen because we're building around it. So, where's the train? It's a little bit difficult to see. Anyone standing at the platforms? See, no one's really at the platforms yet, so I can't really judge it too soon, right? I can't really judge it yet. It's a little bit too soon. So, oh, there we go. Now people are walking down. And you can now see them technically waiting on the actual platform itself. So where's the actual train then? Okay, here's a train right now. I don't know if anyone's going to get off. Like I said, I don't know whether it's too soon. No, people do get off. Okay, so yes, it's now technically working. So we should now see a difference over here, right? Oh, there's someone walking in right there. They are... Oh, they work here, so they're an actual employee. So what we're now waiting for then is an actual big plane or decent plane to land. 11 passengers, a couple passengers on there. So will they come out at the arrival section? Or no, they're coming back out of the departure section as well. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? I don't know what it is about this, but they don't seem to want to use the arrival section. Now, is it down to my placement of all of this? I mean, I could technically reallocate the building, but that is not going to go down too well with all of this. And I don't really want to go down that road of redoing it. What if I stick a little path up? So I'll keep it fast forward mode anyway. And to see what happens. So how do I connect the path up to here? That's on the ground. Can you even connect the path? How do I do this? I mean, I can raise a path. But that's not going to be connected though, is it? Right, my other option is... Right, this is a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? My other option is, what if I just went straight down like this? I could mimic it both sides. Now, what I could do is add vehicle restrictions on the road. Where then again, only service vehicles could technically use it. That'd be a way to... Because I've got to drop services around here, but it would be a way for services to kind of get there. Right, I just want to see right now, with me... Oh! Where did you come from? Wait, if they've just walked this way, they've come down this ramp, haven't they? Right, there's another plane coming out right now. Let me see. So... Right. A few people getting out there. Right, I need another plane to land, guys. Here comes another plane. I just caught the edge of that, didn't I? Okay, they're walking up the ramp. Right, just waiting for a big lump of peeps to get out right now. Any moment now, guys. Right, have you got anybody on board? 7 people. Not a lot. Not really a lot just yet. I mean, the big one would be when we eventually start bringing trains of people in. So I'm just waiting for a load of people to get off a plane again, like all the previous times. A couple of people getting off that one. Oh. A load of people just got off a train right there, and they're now walking up the ramp. Okay, there you go. So for some weird reason, I have no idea why, they just don't want to utilize the arrival section down below. Who would have thought that? Who actually would have thought that right now? Alright, there's a bunch of people just getting off there. They're all still utilizing the cars, though, apart from that one dude who's walking down. So you're gonna get the odd one or two that do use it. Right. Which doesn't ruin it, because it also adds to the aesthetics, which is pretty cool. But what I could say with the vehicle restrictions on the road is nothing... Oh, but... services and garbage. Just so we limit who can actually use it, because the amount of people just walk down right there. Oh my god. That's a lot of people getting off a lot of planes right now. Right, there we go. We've got a system. It's not what I intended it to be. But we have... I knew that was going to be an issue, because I just seen nobody come out the arrival section. Right, let's add some services then. And what I'm going to do first is... we'll get that road back out again, the Raw Style Road out to here. And I can see us using the road to go in this direction. So around here, because it's going to be a little bit of a dead space, we'll create or build our little hospital here. Little hospital with a little bit of a crematorium. So I'm going to pick... that's a straight... that's a 29, which is an awkward number. So from there, it's a 14. From there, it's a 50. You're not really going to get much out of that right now. But if I go to about a 6, we'll go with a 5x5 bend. And run this slightly up to here. Is that a 3? Yeah. And then we could drop a nice little hospital here. So dropping it just there. Creates a bit of dead space. We can put like some trees and stuff around it, which would be quite nice. And then this little area here, if I do this correct as well, because that obviously is going to extend in that direction. And if I do the same then here, if I do a 5 here, and then go for like a little 3x3, run that down to there, I could build a couple of crems just here. So I could go with one. This is 45,000. Okay, we've got quite a bit of money now. Now it's starting to come back in again. One there and there. Just drop 2 crematoriums in. Which, oh, okay, we're running out of power in this section, by the way. Right, wind turbines. They're going to be our best friend at the minute. But they're not going to be a continual support to this little area that we're working with right now. So a couple of crems down there. Just a way to kind of fill that little bit of dead space and provide the services. We are going to need so some emergency services in the case of fire. Now I could implement these also around the airport, or near the airport anyway. So I'm going to utilize this kind of awkward dead space area. So in reality, it could also continue to go in this direction here. Is that all lined up? Yeah. So what I could do in this section, if I kind of pick what I feel like is going to be center, which probably about there. I could do one side a large police station. And then the other side a large fire depot. Connecting these with the water. They're going to need a little bit of power, mate. Oh, is that enough to connect? There we go. So just there, I eventually build it up and make it a little bit better. But that ain't too shabby now, is it? It ain't too shabby. Now, considering that this is the only connection for this area, we do have traffic lights here, which is probably not a good idea. So get rid of the run of traffic lights moving down. And then once that backlog of vehicle is now gone, it will continue to move smoothly. And at the same time, we will eventually have alternate connections. It's just because of the way it's kind of set up, it just feels a little bit chaotic right now. But it isn't too bad, is it? Could you imagine living here and having all these beautiful planes landing over your head? The vibe of this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly... I can't wait to have built more around it. This is going to be really good. Oh, I'm really happy with this. I am. A bit touch and go here and there, but it's worked out well in the end. Now, I expect I need to add another couple of trains now onto that new metro line. Because there's going to be a lot of them now waiting. I'll put it back up. I'll put it to 6. Because of the sheer distance that they've now got to travel. Do you reckon 6 will eventually get through the backlog? There is a lot of people waiting. I'll put the number to 10. I'll put the number to 10 and see how we go. Oh my goodness me. But this is pretty good. This is now going exactly how I would like it. But of course, it's quite deadly having one highway connection. But at the same time, once I got more public transport connected in, it will ease the burden slightly. But for the first time, we're now getting consistent traffic heading across the bridge as well, which is really, really good to see. Garbage is a bit of a stretch, though. I've noticed a few of them complain about garbage. They've got a long way to travel for all of that. I do need to up my garbage processing capabilities, and now we have got a little bit more cash. I could maybe get away with building an additional, face it this way, garbage plant. So it's 100,000. How much does it increase it by? A nice chunk, but we could definitely do with it a little bit better. There we go, an additional one down. Right now we're going to see some garbage issues, but hopefully we can kind of keep on top of it. Now let's slightly adjust those bus routes, by the way, as well. So where's my bus route there? So when I added this red one in, this whole area wasn't really technically a thing. So if I switch you to over there, which then means I can have a stop leading there, and then we'll have a stop about there. So it kind of covers a few aspects there of collecting passengers. Same for this purple one. As it comes in this way, it's coming straight back in. But if I add a stop in, for example, just there, and then see a stop probably about there, bit crisscrossy, but once I've built up a bit more, I'll then re-evaluate my bus routes and add some better variations in. Oh, we got water issues as well. Yes, we do. So we need to set up a water treatment plant, which is probably something I should 100% look towards next episode, is refixing all of our services right now, because I'm putting my city under quite some stress. Garbage is that big issue yet again, and I'm going to need a secondary... What I'm going to need to do is build like another industrial area around here, on this side, and spread the garbage services a little bit more evenly. Because they're not going to be able to upkeep with what I want going down. The only good thing is they've got this dominant highway spine, so they can get from point A to point B pretty easy, but it's not the best. And I need another 100k to be able to build another one. Of those large ones anyway, because I'm going to slowly replace them with the large ones. So we'll just let it run its course for now and just kind of cripple the system slightly. Get rid of these power lines right now because they're no longer needed. Because this should now connect, which it does. Which I got that little spot just there for some more commercial. Very good, very good, very good. This is turning out to be pretty good. And, yeah, so we've got to also designate a little city park as well, which I think will be a good little move. Now, in reality, what I'm going to do is plan this little bend out. Now, we are about 25... What are we away from one of these connections? We're 25 away, right? So I know that there is the 10. So if I do a 15... 20 there. That space there is this space here. So I kind of know what I'm working with. So that starts to bend all there. So I'm going to go down by another 10. If I stick this out to about there. Can we pick up on the snap? It's very close. So if I do another 10. So for us there, it's a 24. From this side, it's a 26. It's almost perfect. Alright, so if that's going to run into there, that's 20 down. So if I do a 20 down as well. And then we'll do another 20, another 20. So I'm going to bring it in 20s. 20. 20. There we go. So that's to there, to there, to there, to there. There's actually one additional one as well. So if I bring these all out. So these are like our main little through roads. Now with the connection tool, the bends should all be the same. Now it's quite a large bend we are going to create here. But I'll place them in and I'll delete a few bits and bobs to kind of create a city park in the middle. So what we're creating right now is almost like a larger version of this. Which, to be honest with you could probably run some of it a little bit closer. So if I ran by another 10, by another 10, we then create the bend to be a lot smaller. So a 14 by 17, or if you're going this way, obviously a 17 by 14, and so on and so on. So I'm actually going to bring them a tad closer, each one. And bam. And to save a bit of time, we will use the connection tool. So, connection tool time, boys. So, maximize the bend. As much as we can. Maximize the bend as much as we can. Ooh, this is definitely getting windy. This is definitely getting windy. So before I continue the rest, let me see what I can now come up with, because I might be able to kind of change some of this up. So if I went straight with this run here, creating our grid, and if I went straight with this run here, connecting and continuing our grid, you can see where it then all kind of runs with and from. So if I then cancel this road here, right, and instead created my connection tool there to there, and then maximize this bend. there to there. And I don't know if I'm going to end it like that or bring this in with it. Let me see what it would look like. Because the only downside is I'm pulling away from this bit. So I don't know how it's gonna feel, but continue it. It's become a bridge. That's hilarious. Alright. Upgrade to bring this all down. I'll have to kind of change the land on this scape right real quick. Right, get out of underground mode. Alright, just to there. And then, without doing too much work, change the angle slightly. So I'm going to build a city park within this vicinity, right? That's how I'm going to do it. We've got our kind of major outlines, which work for us very, very well. And then like from this, I can do kind of little strips that hit places and create unique selling points. Maybe we kind of do like an apartment road. An apartment that overlooks the seafront on this bendy bit. But we're definitely having a city park within this area. So that's going to be planned out for us. Which will kind of go straight and then do its final bend as it leads to another little section there. We might have another stop in the middle for the metro line. But that's how it's all going to connect. And it should work out very, very well for us. So if I continued, or if I just went straight now with these runs, to kind of really maximize my griddiness. It's very gritty. It's very, 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 very gritty right now. That is one thing we can all agree on. How gritty this setup is. And while I've complained about I'm not going to do it, I've just fell into the old trap of slightly doing it. But I do need to create a few little changes and little bends here and there as well, don't I? Which would be quite nice. So why don't I try and attempt something like that? So I'm going to do it on... I feel like one of these ones here would be the perfect one to do it on. So if I deleted that, deleted that, deleted that. What I could do here, and it might be a bit funky. Alright, that's the main run in. Alright, let's try it. A 5. So I'm going to get this to kind of bend into there. And then... that's a 6. And then... right, connect again. So what's a maximum bend size look like? Like that. Very wavy. Very wavy. Which can kind of end with like a little 8. Cul-de-sac in many ways. Right? You can end with a little cul-de-sac. But it does add a little bit of design to it, doesn't it? It does add a little bit of a design work to it. A couple of little cul-de-sacs. We can have like many of these little cul-de-sacs as well. Because like we've got them dotted around. There's a few that end just there. Long ones. A couple just over there. So it could work out in the long run. And then maybe I can end one of these patterns up. Or I might just keep this as it is. 11. That's a 10. Nope. How does this end? Well, that's interesting, isn't it? That's very interesting. Can I get something out of this? Or am I pushing it too far? It could be part of the fun. In a weird way, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It really is. But just imagine continuing this fashion going all the way around. So that is, it's almost like the 10 marker, isn't it? So I mean, trying to keep it close is another thing. But trying to keep up with that design might be a bit difficult. So there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this last one. There. With beachfront apartments. I like it. I think that'll work out very, very well in the long run. Adds a bit of a design to it. Yes. But garbage issues still. They still remain. We know that. And while I got so carried away with building all of that, I could have placed down a few more additional garbage plants. Which at least put us in the yellow, right? Yes. Pumping out a few more trucks. That's an additional 50 trucks could hit the mean streets. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that should slowly settle some more of the garbage. We're still waiting for a police vehicle to make its way over here. Because apparently the crime rate is really, really high. Lines overview. So that brand new line, which is line 5. Line 6? No, that's to do with buses. What am I doing? Line 5 here. We've still got a lot of people waiting. No, I think 10 is good enough. There's a couple of them a little bit low. But that will kind of satisfy us as time goes on. 62% of the vehicle traffic being saved. A lot of people getting over here right now as well. Holy smokes. We have to kind of reevaluate some of our passenger lines too. Wow. Wowzers. Wowzers. We've got a lot of work to do, guys. We've got a lot of work that we do need to get done. But this is the great start. This is the great start. We've solved a few issues. Can my airport now be upgraded? Oh, damn! It can. I just gotta add a few more artistic attractiveness buildings to kind of bulk it up a bit more. But this has gone really well. So we are going to need to implement some schools. I'll wait till we build the park and then implement around the park, because that's what enables us to generate more money. I'm just loving the fact that the aeroplanes come and fly over this little area and then land. And then once I build this area, they're going to fly over as they take off. It's going to be very, very exciting. So hopefully the garbage starts to die down a bit. You can see some of the bubbles now popping, which is really good to see. The population's at 28,000. We've got a little bit of a grid set up. I'm going to do some high density apartments in this little section overlooking, which is going to look really, really good. As a nice little focal point. I'm quite excited for that. I'm quite excited, but it all continues, boys. Still, so much we've got to do. So much, but it's going to be so much fun. Until next time, guys, hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash a like button down below, and I'll see you all soon. So good.